My beloved child, what you feed today becomes tomorrow's burden. What you allow to sit quietly in your heart tonight may rise with you in the morning and speak before your faith has a chance to answer. I see you still smiling, still working, still answering messages, still doing what must be done, still appearing steady before those who depend on you. But I also see the place behind the smile. I see the thinness in your peace. I see how your soul has been carrying more than your hands reveal. You have wondered why some mornings feel heavy before anything has happened. You have asked yourself why your mind wakes up tired, why your heart feels pressed before the day begins, why a sadness you cannot name seems to sit beside you in the quiet. My child, not every heaviness begins in the morning. Some of it begins the day before, when small doors are left slightly open, when thoughts are allowed to circle without being surrendered, when anxieties are entertained because they seem familiar, when distractions numb the ache but do not heal the wound. Peace is rarely stolen all at once. The enemy does not always come with a loud crash, a visible storm, or a sudden attack that makes you fall to your knees. Many times, peace is drained little by little. A little scrolling when your spirit was calling you to pray, a little comparison that settled into your chest, a little resentment you rehearsed until it sounded like truth, a little fear you kept touching in your mind, a little conversation that left your spirit unsettled, a little compromise you excused because you were tired, and by the time tomorrow arrives, you wonder why your soul feels like it has already been in a battle. I do not say this to frighten you. I do not say this to condemn you. I say this because I love you too much to let tomorrow inherit what I am asking you to surrender today. I am not standing over you with accusation. I am drawing near to you with a lamp in my hand, showing you the small places where your peace has been leaking out, not because you are failing, but because you are precious, not because you are weak, but because you have been carrying what was never meant to remain inside you through the night. My beloved child, the first battle is not always against the giant you can see. The first battle is recognizing what your soul has been allowing in silence, the repeated thought, the secret worry, the old wound you keep reopening, the fear you let speak louder than my promise, the habit that leaves you emptier, though it promised to comfort you. These things may seem small, but small cracks can let in cold winds. Small openings can drain great strength. Small seeds, if watered, can become tomorrow's burden. So before this deeper message begins, pause with me. Do not rush past this warning. Let your heart answer while my voice is near. If you believe your peace belongs to me, like this video as an act of agreement, not as a small gesture before people, but as a sign in your own heart that you are choosing to come under my covering again. And write in the comments, Father, guard my peace tonight. Let those words become more than a comment. Let them become a surrender. Let them become a door closing. Let them become your first step back into my presence before tomorrow arrives. Today is the day, my child, not tomorrow, when the heaviness has grown louder, not after your mind has run too far ahead, not after your peace has been drained in silence. Today is the day to recognize the quiet theft, to bring me what has been circling in secret, and to let me guard what the enemy has been trying to weaken. You are not alone. I see the hidden battle, and I am already here. My child, look closely with me now, not with fear, but with honesty. Look at the places you have learned to excuse because they seem too small to matter. The long minutes that become hours, as your eyes keep moving across things that do not strengthen your spirit. The old offense you replay until the pain feels fresh again. The life you compare with your own until gratitude becomes quiet and envy begins to whisper. The fear you entertain as if imagining the worst will somehow prepare you for it. The prayer you postpone because you are tired, then postpone again because your heart feels distant, then postpone again until distance begins to feel normal. I see these things, beloved. I see them before they become loud. I see them while they are still small. I see the way your attention has been pulled in many directions, little by little, not because you stopped loving me, but because your heart has been surrounded by voices that ask for pieces of you, not because you no longer desire my presence, but because noise has slowly trained your soul to reach for everything else first, not because you are rebellious, but because you are weary, and weariness makes even harmful things feel like comfort for a moment. Do you know how peace is often drained from a child of mine? Not always through one terrible decision, not always through a dramatic fall, not always through a door thrown wide open. Sometimes It is an unguarded evening when your mind is tired and your discernment is low. Sometimes it is one repeated compromise you keep calling harmless. Sometimes it is one thought you let sit too long, one resentment you keep feeding, one fear you keep rehearsing, one distraction you keep choosing when I am gently calling you back to prayer. The enemy never needs a wide open door when a small crack has been left unattended. He watches for the moment your soul is tired. He waits near the places you have stopped guarding. He studies the habits you have stopped questioning. He does not need to destroy your faith in one blow if he can thin your peace one evening at a time. A little delay in prayer, a little heaviness carried into sleep, a little bitterness justified because you were hurt, a little comparison dressed up as curiosity, a little fear called wisdom, a little silence where worship used to be, and then you wake up wondering why your spirit feels breathless. My beloved child, I am naming this because I love you. I am not exposing these cracks to shame you. I am showing you where the wind has been entering. You have thought some of these moods were random. You have thought, perhaps I am just tired. Perhaps I am just overwhelmed. Perhaps I am only having a difficult day. And yes, your body needs rest. Yes, your emotions can grow heavy. Yes, there are days when life presses against you. But there are also moments when what you call a mood is a message from your soul. There are moments when the uneasiness you cannot explain is a signal that your heart is carrying something I asked you to release. When you wake up tired before the day begins, pause and ask what your spirit held through the night. When unease comes with no clear reason, bring it to me before you try to distract it away. When you lose patience quickly, when small things irritate you more than they should, when your words become sharp before your heart understands why, do not only condemn yourself, come closer. Let me show you what has been gathering beneath the surface. Sometimes irritation is grief that has not been surrendered. Sometimes impatience is fear that has not been named. Sometimes spiritual breathlessness is the result of breathing too long in an atmosphere I never called you to remain in. I see you trying to pray while carrying irritation into my presence. I see you kneeling with a crowded mind. I see you opening your mouth, but your thoughts are still arguing with someone who wounded you. I see you trying to worship, while comparison sits in the corner of your heart. I see you asking me for peace, while still holding the very fear that is choking it. My child, I do not turn away from you in that place. I do not reject the prayer that comes with trembling. I do not despise the worship that rises through exhaustion, but I am calling you deeper than carrying everything into prayer without surrendering anything in prayer. There is a difference between mentioning your burden to me and releasing it into my hands. There is a difference between praying with your lips and allowing me to touch the thing your heart is protecting. You have told me about the offense, but have you let me remove its poison? You have told me about the fear, but have you stopped making room for it to preach to you? You have told me you are tired, but have you laid down the habits that keep draining you when no one is watching? My precious one, these cracks are not too small for my attention. The small place matters because you matter. The hidden habit matters because your peace matters. The private thought matters because tomorrow matters. I am not asking you to become anxious over every weakness. I am asking you to become awake. Awake to what you feed. Awake to what you permit. Awake to what follows you from evening into morning. Awake to the quiet agreements your soul has been making while your mouth still says you trust me. Today is the day to stop excusing what keeps emptying you. Today is the day to say, Father, show me the crack. Show me the place where my peace has been leaking. Show me what I have been calling normal that you are calling dangerous. And when I show you, do not be afraid. I will not crush you with what I reveal. I will heal what I uncover. I will strengthen what has grown thin. I will teach your hands to close the door and your heart to return to rest. You are not alone in this diagnosis. I am the one holding the lamp, and I am also the one ready to restore your soul. My child, what you feed does not stay silent. What you place before your eyes, what you let turn over in your thoughts, what you rehearse in the hidden rooms of your heart, what you keep touching with your memory even after I have asked you to release it, all of it begins to form a voice. It may not speak loudly today. It may not shake you in the moment. It may seem harmless while you are tired, while you are lying in the dark, while your heart is looking for escape. But what is fed in secret often rises with strength later. What you feed today will speak tomorrow. I want you to understand this with tenderness, not terror. Your soul has memory. It remembers what you allowed to enter when your guard was low. It remembers the image you kept looking at. It remembers the conversation that stirred your insecurity. It remembers the words that reopened anger. It remembers the fear you played again and again, as if worrying could protect you. It remembers the comparison you called innocent curiosity. It remembers the resentment you justified because your pain was real. And when morning comes, those things may return dressed as heaviness, confusion, irritation, sadness, or distance from me. This is why there are mornings when you cannot explain the weight. Nothing has happened yet, but something is already speaking inside you. No one has accused you, but shame is near. No problem has appeared, but anxiety is awake. No battle has begun, but your heart feels tired. My beloved child, sometimes what you feel in the morning is the echo of what you entertained the night before. Sometimes tomorrow's burden is yesterday's unsurrendered thought. Sometimes the heaviness you call random is the fruit of a seed you did not know you watered. Do not be deceived by what looks small. Distraction has nutrition. Every thought, every image, every voice, every repeated habit feeds something in you. Some things feed faith. Some things feed fear. Some things feed gratitude. Some things feed comparison. Some things feed purity. Some things feed lust. Some things feed forgiveness. Some things feed bitterness. Some things feed peace. Some things feed exhaustion. And you cannot continually feed the wrong fire and wonder why the wrong heat fills the room of your heart. My child, I am not asking you to become afraid of life. I am asking you to discern what has been feeding the wrong fire inside you. I am not calling you to hide from every sound, every conversation, every moment of rest. I am calling you to notice what happens to your spirit after you partake. Does it draw you nearer to me, or does it make my voice seem faint? Does it strengthen your peace, or does it leave your mind restless? Does it make your heart tender, or does it make you sharper, colder, more suspicious, more easily offended? Does it help you rest, or does it numb you for a moment and leave you emptier than before? You already know one place, beloved. Even as I speak, one repeated habit is coming to your attention. One pattern, one door, one thing you keep returning to, though it does not make you stronger. You tell yourself it is only a small escape. You tell yourself you can stop when you want. You tell yourself everyone does it. You tell yourself it is not as bad as what others are doing. But after you leave it, your spirit is thinner. Your prayer is harder. Your thoughts are louder. Your peace is more difficult to hold. That is not rest, my child. That is a drain wearing the mask of relief. I do not expose this to humiliate you. I expose it because I am guarding your tomorrow. I am showing you that peace is not only received in prayer, peace is also protected by what you refuse to feed. There are fires in you I am trying to put out. There are old hungers I am trying to starve. There are fears I am trying to silence. There are resentments I am trying to remove from the root. But when you keep feeding what I am trying to starve, you make tomorrow harder than it needs to be. Do you see the mercy in my warning? I am not waiting until the burden crushes you. I am speaking while the door can still be closed. I am touching the habit while it is still small enough to surrender. I am shining light on the appetite before it becomes a chain. You have asked me for peace, and I am answering by showing you what keeps disturbing it. You have asked me for strength, and I am answering by showing you where strength is leaking out. You have asked me to guard your mind, and I am answering by teaching you what not to invite into it. So pause with me here. Do not rush to defend the thing that drains you. Do not protect the pattern that keeps stealing from you. Bring it into the light. Say, Father, I see it now. I see what I have been feeding. I see what has been speaking into my tomorrow. I see the habit that leaves me empty, and I surrender it to you. And when you say this, I will not turn away from you. I will draw nearer. I will give you grace for the appetite that must lose its power. I will give you courage for the door that must be closed. I will give you new hunger for what restores your soul. My beloved child, feed what is holy, and peace will have a place to remain. Feed prayer, and your spirit will breathe again. Feed my word, and lies will lose their voice. Feed gratitude, and comparison will grow weak. Feed forgiveness, and bitterness will begin to die. Feed worship, and fear will no longer rule the room. Today is the day to stop feeding what tomorrow cannot carry. Today is the day to let me starve what has been starving your peace. You are not losing comfort. You are recovering freedom. You are not being punished. You are being protected. And as you surrender what has been speaking too loudly, I will teach your soul to hear my voice again. Do you remember David before Goliath, my child? Do you remember that the giant was not the beginning of his battle? When others first saw David standing before the giant, they saw a young shepherd facing something too large for him. They saw no armor that fit him. They saw no sword in his hand that could impress them. They heard the roar of Goliath, the mocking voice, the intimidation, the sound of fear spreading through an army. But I saw something they did not see. I saw the field before the battlefield. I saw the hidden place before the public moment. I saw the lion. I saw the bear. I saw the nights when no one applauded him. No one called his name. No one knew that faith was being trained where only heaven was watching. My beloved child, the giant was public, but the preparation was hidden. The victory everyone celebrated was born in battles no one honored. David did not learn trust when Goliath shouted. He had already learned trust when the lion came for the sheep. He did not discover my faithfulness in front of the army. He had already discovered it in the lonely field. He did not become brave because the crisis demanded it. He had been strengthened in secret before the crisis ever appeared. Do you see the mirror I am holding before you? Many of my children wait until the giant is standing in front of them before they begin to guard their hearts, before they begin to pray again, before they begin to silence fear, before they begin to ask me for strength. But I am speaking before the giant appears. I do not warn you today because I want you anxious about tomorrow. I warn you because I know what is coming before you see it. I know the conversation that will require a calm spirit. I know the decision that will require a clear mind. I know the opportunity that will require humility instead of offense. I know the assignment that will require fresh oil instead of dry effort. I know the place where you will need peace and tact, and that is why I am touching the small drains now. That is why I am pointing to the habit, the thought, the resentment, the distraction, the worry, the secret heaviness. Not because I am angry with you, but because I am preparing you. The enemy understands preparation too. He knows he may not be able to stop what I have ordained, so he tries to weaken you before you arrive. He wants you tired before the conversation, anxious before the decision, offended before the opportunity, dry before the assignment, distracted before the door opens, restless before the instruction comes. He wants your mind crowded so my voice feels distant. He wants your heart bruised, so every word feels like an attack. He wants your spirit thin so the task I give you feels heavier than it truly is. He wants you to stand before tomorrow already emptied by today. The most dangerous battle is often not the one that roars in your face, but the one that quietly empties your strength before you arrive. The roar of the giant is not always the deepest threat. Sometimes the deeper threat is the night before, when your soul is fed by fear. Sometimes it is the hidden offense you keep rehearsing until your heart loses tenderness. Sometimes it is the hours of noise that leave you unable to hear the whisper of my spirit. Sometimes it is the old lie that tells you you are alone, forgotten, unprepared, unchosen, when I have been training you in places no one else could see. My child, do not despise the hidden field. Do not despise the small act of obedience that nobody notices. Do not despise the quiet prayer before sleep, the surrendered thought, the closed door, the forgiven offense, the worship whispered when your feelings are weak. These are not small things in my sight. These are stones being chosen before the valley. These are muscles of faith being strengthened before the confrontation. These are unseen roots, going deeper before the wind begins to blow. What you surrender in secret may become the strength that carries you in public. David could stand before Goliath because the field had already taught him who I was. He remembered the lion, he remembered the bear, he remembered my hand. He did not measure the giant only by the size of the threat. He measured the giant by the faithfulness he had already seen. And so it will be with you, beloved. I am not merely trying to remove discomfort from your life. I am teaching you to remember me before pressure speaks. I am teaching you to gather truth before fear rises. I am teaching you to guard peace before the valley calls your name. Do not wait until the visible crisis appears to return to me. Do not wait until your thoughts are loud, your emotions are tangled, your words are sharp, and your spirit is exhausted. Come now. Return now. Let me train you in the hidden place. Let me strengthen you in the quiet field. Let me show you what must be dropped before you carry what I am placing in your hands. Some weights cannot go with you into the next assignment. Some distractions cannot stand beside the door I am opening. Some offenses cannot remain in the heart that must speak with my tenderness. Some fears cannot keep their seat in the mind that must walk by faith. I am exposing the leak now because I am protecting the victory later. I am not taking something from you. I am making room in you. I am not stripping you of joy. I am removing what has been stealing it. I am not delaying your promise. I am preparing your heart to enter it without collapsing under its weight. Hidden preparation determines visible victory, my child. The peace you guard tonight may become the courage you need tomorrow. The prayer you return to now may become the wisdom that steadies you later. The door you close in secret may become the strength that keeps you standing when the giant speaks. So listen, while my voice is gentle. Let me prepare you before pressure demands it. Let me restore your peace before the valley. Let me fill your lamp before the night deepens. You are not behind. You are being readied. You are not forgotten in the field. I am there with you. I see the lions you faced. I see the bears you survived. I see the quiet battles no one clapped for. And I tell you now, the same hand that trained you in secret will stand with you in the open. Guard your peace today, beloved, because tomorrow will need the strength I am placing in you now. Do you remember Elisha's servant, my child, when the morning opened and his eyes saw only danger? He stepped outside and the city was surrounded. Horses, chariots, soldiers, pressure on every side. The threat was not imagined. The army was real. The sound was real. The visible pressure was real. And when he saw it, fear rose quickly in him, because fear always tries to speak before faith remembers. He looked at what was surrounding him and cried out, wondering what they would do, wondering how they could survive, wondering how two men could stand against what looked so much greater than them. But Elisha was not shaken by what the servant saw. He was not calm because there was no army. He was calm because there was another army the servant had not yet seen. He was not peaceful because the threat was small. He was peaceful because my presence was greater. And he prayed, Lord, open his eyes. Then I opened the servant's eyes, and suddenly the story changed, not because the enemy disappeared first, but because sight was restored. He saw the mountain full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. The visible army had surrounded the city, but my unseen protection had already surrounded the threat. Do you see, my beloved child? The servant was not alone before his eyes were opened. He was not protected only after he saw the fire. The protection was already there while he was trembling. The help was already there while his heart was racing. The answer was already present while his mouth was asking, what shall we do? His fear did not mean I had left. His trembling did not mean heaven was empty. His panic came because his sight had been narrowed to what stood against him, and he had not yet seen what stood with him. And so it has been with you. You have been seeing the bills, but not the provision I am preparing. You have been seeing the delay, but not the patience I am forming and the timing I am holding. You have been seeing the conflict, but not the wisdom I am releasing into your spirit. You have been seeing the loneliness, but not the nearness of my presence in the room where no one else understands. You have been seeing the pressure, the calendar, the conversation, the responsibility, the uncertainty, the closed door, the empty place, the silence. And because these things have filled your sight, your peace has felt far away. But my child, I have not left you. I have not stepped back from your house. I have not forgotten the promise I spoke over you. I have not removed my hand because your emotions trembled. It is not because I left, but because noise has crowded your inner sight. It is not because I am distant, but because fear has been standing too close to your eyes. It is not because heaven is silent, but because worry has become loud inside the room of your mind. It is not because the enemy is greater, but because stolen peace makes the enemy look larger than he is. When peace is drained little by little, vision becomes narrow. You begin to see only what threatens you. You begin to measure tomorrow by what you lack today. You begin to hear every delay as rejection, every silence as abandonment, every pressure as proof that you are alone. Fear takes one visible fact and builds a whole future without me in it. Fear says, look at the army, look at the numbers, look at the odds, look at what you do not have, look at who walked away, look at what has not changed, look at how long it has been. But faith, when I awaken it again, says, open my eyes, Father. Let me see what fear has hidden from me. I do not ask you to deny the army. I ask you to see beyond it. I do not ask you to pretend the pressure is not real. I ask you to remember that my help is more real than the pressure. I do not ask you to ignore the bills, the delay, the conflict, the ache in your heart, or the heaviness in your thoughts. I ask you to stop allowing those things to become the only things you see. There is more around you than what is against you. There is more covering you than what is threatening you. There is more grace assigned to tomorrow than fear has allowed you to believe. My beloved child, some of your exhaustion has come from staring too long at what surrounds you in the natural while forgetting what surrounds you in the spirit. You have counted the problems more carefully than you have counted my faithfulness. You have rehearsed the threat more often than you have remembered my rescue. You have studied the face of the giant, the size of the army, the weight of the need, but you have not paused long enough to let me lift your eyes to the mountain filled with fire. So pause inwardly now. Do not rush. Let your soul become quiet before me. Let the noise settle. Let the fear stop preaching. Let the anxious thought loosen its grip. And say with a sincere heart, Lord, open my eyes before tomorrow arrives. Say it not as a phrase, but as surrender. Lord, open my eyes before tomorrow arrives. Open my eyes to the help I have not noticed. Open my eyes to the protection already around me. Open my eyes to the peace I have been too distracted to receive. Open my eyes to your nearness in the very place where fear told me I was alone. And as you surrender, I will restore sight. I will not only change what is around you, I will change what you are able to perceive. I will teach you to see provision where fear only saw lack. I will teach you to see preparation where frustration only saw delay. I will teach you to see covering where anxiety only saw exposure. I will teach you to see my hand in the quiet, my fire on the mountain, my angels assigned, my presence surrounding what has been surrounding you. You are not trapped by what you see today. You are being invited to see with me. The enemy wanted your peace because he knew peace protects your vision. He knew that if he could drain you, he could narrow you. But today, I am widening your sight again. Today, I am lifting your eyes. Today, I am reminding you that the unseen protection is greater than the visible pressure. Do not enter tomorrow with the servant's panic when I am offering you Elisha's sight. Open your heart, my child. Let me silence fear. Let me restore peace. Let me show you that before the army ever surrounded you, I had already surrounded the army. And now, my child, before tomorrow arrives, let tonight become holy again, not heavy, not fearful, not filled with panic about everything you must fix before you sleep. Holy, quiet. Return to me. There is a watch I want to set over your mind and over your house, not because danger is greater than my power, but because what you allow to move through the night can try to speak into the morning. The peace of tomorrow is guarded by what is surrendered, what is silenced, and what is consecrated tonight. Do not treat the last hours of this day as if they do not matter. The enemy loves when my children become careless at the end of the day, when the body is tired, when the heart is tender, when discipline feels far away, when the soul says, I just need something to make me forget. But I tell you gently, beloved, not every escape restores you. Some things only numb you long enough to leave a deeper weight behind. Some voices enter through laughter and leave unrest. Some images enter through curiosity and leave impurity awake. Some conversations enter through venting and leave bitterness burning. Some thoughts enter through planning and leave fear sitting beside your bed. So tonight, let me show you what must not enter with you into rest. Surrender the conversation that reopens bitterness. You know the one. The message you want to send because your wound still wants to prove its pain. The story you keep repeating because part of you still wants someone to agree that you were wronged. The inner argument you keep winning in your mind, though it leaves your spirit exhausted. My child, I am not dismissing what hurt you. I saw it. I heard it. I know the weight of the words spoken against you and the silence that followed when you needed comfort. But if you carry that conversation into sleep, it will try to stand at the door of tomorrow. Surrender the content that awakens impurity. Surrender what pulls your eyes away from holiness and then makes prayer feel distant. Do not call it harmless if it leaves your spirit clouded. Do not call it rest if it stirs a hunger I am trying to heal. Do not call it entertainment if it weakens your discernment and makes your heart less sensitive to my voice. I do not say this to shame you. I say this because I love the purity of your peace. I love the clarity of your mind. I love the lamp inside you, and I will not watch quietly while small shadows try to dim what I place there. Surrender the worry that pretends to be planning. There is wisdom in preparing, but there is no wisdom in rehearsing disaster until your body lies down and your mind keeps marching. There is order in making provision, but fear often disguises itself as responsibility and says, keep thinking, keep calculating, keep imagining what could go wrong. My child, when planning no longer produces obedience but only tightness in your chest, bring it to me. Write what must be remembered, do what must be done, then release what belongs in my hands. You were never created to hold the whole night awake by the strength of your thoughts. And surrender the memory that keeps demanding revenge. That old scene, that old betrayal, that old humiliation, that moment when you felt unseen, misjudged, abandoned, used, or rejected. It keeps rising because pain wants a courtroom in your mind. It wants evidence. It wants a sentence. It wants someone to pay. But beloved, vengeance does not heal the wound it keeps touching. Let me be judge. Let me be defender. Let me be the one who restores what was taken. Forgiveness before sleep is not saying what happened was small. It is saying your soul is too precious to be chained to the person who wounded it. Tonight, before entertainment, pray. Before scrolling, be still. Before sleep, forgive. Before fear has the final word, let my word speak over you. This is not a rule to crush you. This is a doorway back into shelter. Open the scripture even if you read only a few lines with a tired voice. Whisper my name, even if your prayer feels simple. Sit in silence for a moment before me, instead of filling every empty space with noise. Let your spirit breathe. Let your house hear peace again. Let your room become more than a place where you collapse. Let it become an altar where you return. Walk through the ordinary rooms of your life with awareness, my child. The kitchen where you have sighed in secret. The bedroom where tears have fallen into the pillow. The living room where noise has been louder than peace. The doorway where you enter carrying the day on your shoulders. Invite me there. Speak peace there. Say aloud, as one who belongs to me, this home is covered by the presence of God. This room will not be ruled by fear. This mind will not be surrendered to torment. This night belongs to the Lord. My peace is welcome here. My spirit is welcome here. My light is welcome here. Do you know what happens when you consecrate what seemed ordinary? The atmosphere begins to remember who has authority. Your words, when surrendered to me, become more than sound. They become agreement. They become a wall. They become a lamp lit in a dark corner. Do not fill your rooms with words of defeat and then wonder why your heart feels crowded. Do not speak hopelessness over your tomorrow and then call it honesty. Speak truth. Speak life. Speak my promises. Even if your emotions are still catching up, say, Father, you are with me. Father, you are guarding me. Father, you are restoring my peace. Father, tomorrow is already under your care. Turn away from draining noise tonight. Not because silence is empty, but because silence can become a meeting place when I am invited into it. There are times when the constant sound around you has kept you from hearing the quiet warning within you. There are times when the screen has become a curtain between your weariness and my comfort. There are times when you have reached for distraction because you were afraid of what might rise in the stillness. But I am not waiting in the stillness to accuse you. I am waiting there to gather you. I am waiting there to wash the dust from your spirit. I am waiting there to remind you that you are not alone in this house, not alone in this night, not alone with tomorrow. My beloved child, I am not asking for perfection tonight. I am asking for one honest return, one surrendered habit, one closed door, one forgiven offense, one moment of prayer before the noise, one scripture before fear, one decision to let me have access to the places you have been trying to manage alone. Do not make this complicated. Do not say, I have failed too many times, so why try again? Return now. Do not say, I am too tired to pray correctly. Speak to me tired. Do not say, my house has carried too much heaviness. Invite me into the heaviness, and I will begin to fill it with peace. Tonight is not about proving your strength. It is about letting me cover your weakness. Tonight is not about earning protection. You are mine already. Tonight is about closing what has been left open, silencing what has been speaking too loudly, and consecrating what belongs to me. Your mind belongs to me. Your mouth belongs to me. Your room belongs to me. Your home belongs to me. Your tomorrow belongs to me. So before you sleep, place the night in my hands. Let the final word not be fear, not bitterness, not impurity, not revenge, not anxiety, but surrender. And as you surrender, I will stand watch. I will guard what you cannot guard. I will restore what the day has drained. I will breathe peace into the rooms where heaviness tried to settle. Rest now under my covering, my child, and let tomorrow meet you with a soul that has been hidden in me. And my child, if you come to me tired, do not come ashamed. Do not lower your eyes as though exhaustion has made you less mine. Do not believe the lie that says, if your faith were stronger, you would not feel this weak. Do not let the enemy take your weariness and turn it into accusation. Your tiredness is not proof that I have abandoned you. Your heaviness is not proof that you are disqualified. Your need for rest is not a failure in your spirit. It is often the place where I am inviting you to stop carrying what I never asked you to carry. I have watched you keep going when your heart was asking to be held. I have watched you serve others while your own soul was quietly running dry. I have watched you pray for people with sincerity, even while your own words felt thin and your own strength felt empty. I have watched you smile so others would not worry. I have watched you answer the call, finish the duty, show up for the need, open your hands again, even when something deep inside you whispered, I am tired. My beloved child, I saw every tear you swallowed, every sigh you hid, and every moment you kept moving when your soul was asking for rest. I do not say this to accuse you. I say this to gather you, because some of what you called endurance was truly love, but some of what you called endurance was fear, fear of disappointing people, fear of being misunderstood, fear of seeming weak, fear that if you stopped, everything would fall apart, fear that if you admitted your emptiness, you would lose the place you have tried so hard to hold. But listen to me gently. You were never meant to be the source. You were never meant to be the savior. You were never meant to pour forever without receiving from me again. Do you remember Elijah, my child, when he sat under the broom tree? He had seen fire fall. He had stood in boldness. He had confronted darkness. He had obeyed me with courage. Yet after the battle, after the pressure, after the threat, he ran into the wilderness and sat down beneath a tree, emptied, afraid, and weary, in a way words could barely hold. And what did I do? Did I rebuke him for being tired? Did I shame him for needing sleep? Did I strip away his calling because his body trembled and his soul could not keep standing? No, my child, I let him rest. I sent bread, I sent water, I touched him gently. I strengthened him before I spoke the next instruction. Do you see? I did not meet my weary servant first with a lecture. I met him with provision. I did not demand that he rise before I nourished him. I did not call his exhaustion rebellion when it was depletion. I knew the journey was too much for him in his own strength, so I fed him for the journey ahead. Bread, water, sleep, a gentle touch. Then, when his body had been strengthened and his spirit was no longer drowning beneath the weight, I brought him to the place where he could hear me again, not in the wind that tore the mountains, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in the still small voice. And so I am speaking to you now. Some of you have been waiting for thunder, but you first need rest. Some of you have been begging for a sign, but your soul first needs bread from my hand and water from my presence. Some of you have been trying to hear me through panic, through exhaustion, through the noise of too many burdens, and I am not angry that you cannot discern clearly while you are running dry. I am calling you closer. I am saying, come away for a moment. Sit beneath the shelter of my mercy. Let me touch the place where you have been too tired to explain yourself. You have hidden your exhaustion because you thought holiness meant never needing help, but holiness is not pretending you are full when you are empty. Holiness is bringing the empty vessel back to the one who fills it. You have hidden your weariness because others depended on you. But my child, receiving from me is not selfish. Resting in me is not abandonment of your assignment. Letting me restore you is part of your obedience. A lamp cannot keep burning if it refuses oil. A heart cannot keep giving peace if it never returns to peace himself. There are burdens on your shoulders that have my name nowhere on them. There are worries you picked up because you believed constant concern was proof of love. There are responsibilities you carried because you did not trust me to work in the lives of people you care about. There are outcomes you tried to control because waiting made you feel helpless. Bring them here. Bring the names. Bring the needs. Bring the family. Bring the ministry. Bring the work. Bring the unfinished things. Bring the sorrow you keep postponing. Bring the weakness you keep disguising. This is holy ground now, not because you feel strong here, but because you have stopped hiding from me here. I am not disappointed by the trembling in your hands. I am not offended by the tiredness in your voice. I am not distant from the part of you that feels emptied by life, drained by people, and worn down by battles no one else saw. I am near to the weary. I am gentle with the bruised reed. I do not crush what is already bending. I do not extinguish the wick that is barely burning. I cup my hand around it. I breathe carefully over it. I restore the flame. So receive again, my child. Receive my mercy without arguing with it. Receive my strength without trying to earn it. Receive my peace without first proving that you deserve it. Let me restore breath to your spirit. Let me steady the heart that has been beating under too much pressure. Let me quiet the inner demand that says you must always be available, always strong, always composed, always pouring. You are mine before you serve. You are mine before you produce. You are mine before anyone sees what you do. Weariness becomes holy ground when you stop hiding it and let me meet you there. So rest your soul in me. Lay down what was never yours. Eat the bread I provide. Drink from the water of my presence. Listen for my gentle voice. I am not finished with you, beloved. I am restoring you. I am teaching you to receive again, so that what flows from you tomorrow will not come from pressure, but from peace. And now, my child, listen carefully to the words that leave your mouth before tomorrow arrives. Your mouth is not a small thing. Your words are not empty breath. What you keep saying begins to build a room inside you. Complaints can rehearse defeat until your heart believes defeat is the only story. Fearful words can walk ahead of you and paint tomorrow with shadows I never commanded. But words surrendered to me can become a wall around your peace. They can call your mind back from wandering. They can remind your soul who truly reigns. I do not say this so you will pretend there is no trouble. I do not ask you to speak as though pain is not real, as though bills do not exist, as though the wound did not hurt, as though the pressure has no weight. Declaration is not denial, beloved. Declaration is refusing to let trouble become lord over your heart. It is standing in the same room as the problem and saying, you are real, but you are not greater than my God. It is looking at the same tomorrow that once made you tremble and saying, you will not receive my fear as an inheritance. A guarded mouth helps build a guarded mind, and a guarded mind becomes a place where peace can remain. When you speak hopelessness over and over, your thoughts begin to gather around it. When you say, nothing will change, I am always alone, I cannot make it, I am too tired, tomorrow will be worse, your soul begins to bow under words I did not speak over you. But when you open your mouth and agree with my truth, even while your emotions are still trembling, you create a place for faith to stand again. So say it, my child, not as performance, but as surrender. My peace is not for sale. Say it over the temptation to return to worry. My peace is not for sale. Say it when the enemy tries to purchase your rest with an old memory, an anxious thought, a bitter conversation, a fearful report. My peace is not for sale. I bought you with love. I covered you with mercy. I have not brought you this far to let your peace be traded for a passing shadow. Say, my mind belongs to God, not to torment, not to confusion, not to endless replay, not to accusation, not to fear dressed as wisdom. My mind belongs to God. Say it when thoughts try to crowd the door. Say it when sleep feels far away. Say it when tomorrow begins knocking before tonight is finished. My mind belongs to God, and every thought that rises against his peace must bow. Say, my home is covered. Say it quietly if your voice is tired. Say it firmly if your spirit feels pressed. My home is covered. This room is covered. This family is covered. This night is covered. My children are covered. My future is covered. My doorway is covered by the presence of the Lord. Fear may not rule here. Bitterness may not sleep here. Despair may not build an altar here. The peace of God is welcome here. And say, tomorrow will not inherit today's fear. Tomorrow will not inherit today's anxiety. Tomorrow will not inherit today's heaviness. Tomorrow will not inherit the words spoken in pain, the panic formed in exhaustion, or the burden carried without prayer. Tomorrow belongs to me before it belongs to your calendar. Tomorrow is under my covering before it meets your circumstances. Tomorrow will not be shaped by what fear said tonight. It will be held by what I have spoken. My beloved child, Your declaration does not force my hand. It aligns your heart with mine. It does not create my faithfulness. It remembers it. It does not make me near. It awakens you to the nearness already surrounding you. Speak because your soul needs to hear truth in your own voice. Speak because silence has too often allowed fear to preach without interruption. Speak because your peace is precious, and what is precious must be guarded. And if this word is meeting you in the hidden place, if you know that you have been quietly weary, silently drained, smiling while your soul needed shelter, then make this declaration openly. Write in the comments, "My peace belongs to God before tomorrow arrives." Let those words become your agreement. Let them become a small altar in public where your heart says, "I am choosing surrender instead of silent exhaustion. I am choosing prayer instead of panic. I am choosing the covering of God instead of carrying tomorrow alone." And as each name, each sentence, each declaration appears, let it become a witness that you are not the only one returning. Another weary soul is choosing peace. Another tired heart is closing the door to fear. Another home is being offered back to me. Another mind is being guarded by truth. My child, you are not alone in this agreement. I am gathering my children back into peace, one surrendered word at a time. So speak life, speak truth, speak under my covering. Let your mouth build a wall, let your mind become still, and let your peace remain with me before tomorrow arrives. And now, my child, understand why I have been restoring your peace so carefully. I am not only hiding you in my shelter so you can survive the night, I am making you a shelter. I am not only quieting the storm inside you so you can breathe again. I am teaching you how to walk into rooms where others are trembling and carry a peace that does not belong to the room. I am not only closing the doors that drained you, I am preparing you to recognize those same doors in the lives of people around you, not with judgment, not with pride, but with compassion, born from the place where I rescued you. You thought this restoration was only personal, but beloved, nothing I heal in you is wasted. The tears you brought to me will make your eyes gentle toward another person's hidden tears. The exhaustion I exposed in you will make you sensitive to the quiet weariness in someone else's voice. The anxiety I taught you to surrender will help you recognize when another heart is smiling while sinking. You will notice what you once ignored. You will hear the heaviness behind short answers. You will see the tiredness behind forced laughter. You will discern when a family member is not angry, but empty. When a friend is not distant, but drained. When a coworker is not difficult, but quietly carrying a weight they have not known how to name. This is how I turn survival into purpose. I do not restore you so you can look back with shame. I restore you so you can look around with mercy. You will become cool water in a dry place, not because you never thirsted, but because you know where the water is. You will become a lamp in a tense home, not because every room is easy, but because my peace has learned how to burn in you without needing permission from the atmosphere. You will become a quiet intercessor, one who prays before speaking, one who covers before criticizing, one who lifts names before me in secret instead of feeding conversations that tear people down. My child, there are people near you who are quietly running dry. They have not said it clearly. They may not even understand it themselves. They are still working, still answering messages, still paying bills, still showing up, still saying, "I am fine," but their peace is leaking through small cracks. A little fear, a little resentment, a little disappointment, a little comparison, a little distance from prayer, a little numbness at night. And because I have dealt with those places in you, you will not pass them by so easily anymore. I am giving you eyes that do not merely observe behavior, but recognize battle. But listen to me carefully, beloved. This calling requires guarding. You cannot carry peace for others while continually feeding fear in yourself. You cannot become a steady voice while rehearsing resentment in secret. You cannot pour from my presence while filling your mind with distraction until your spirit is too crowded to hear me. This is not condemnation. This is protection. A vessel that carries water must not keep opening itself to dust. A lamp that gives light must not keep surrendering its oil to every wind. A heart called to shelter, others must remain sheltered in me. So keep returning, keep closing the small doors, keep guarding your mouth, keep choosing prayer before panic, keep letting me correct what tries to grow quietly in the dark. Do not think that because I have given you peace once, you can stop watching over it. Peace is a gift. but it is also a garden. It must be tended. It must be protected from the seeds of bitterness, the weeds of fear, the thorns of offense, and the noise that tramples what is tender. Stay close to me, and what I place in you will remain fresh enough to refresh others. And when you step into a home full of tension, do not add more fire. Carry peace. When someone speaks from anxiety, do not answer with the same storm. Carry peace. When a child is afraid, when a spouse is weary, when a friend is breaking quietly, when a stranger's eyes look hollow, do not underestimate the power of a gentle word, a patient silence, a sincere prayer, a message sent at the right time, a hand placed on a shoulder, a voice that says, "You are not alone." Sometimes the rescue I send will look like you, showing up with, "My peace in your spirit." Do you see, my child? You are not only protected, you are being sent. Not sent with noise, but with presence. Not sent to perform strength, but to carry surrender. Not sent to fix every life, but to point weary souls back to the one who restores. I healed you so you would not mock the tired. I steadied you so you would not fear the trembling. I filled you so that when others come near you thirsty, they would taste something of my kindness flowing through your words, your patience, your prayers, and your quiet faithfulness. And if someone came to your heart while you were hearing this word, someone whose peace has been quietly draining, someone who has been smiling too much while carrying too much, do not ignore that nudge. Share this message with them, not as promotion, but as rescue. Send it gently, send it prayerfully. Let it be a cup of water placed beside a weary soul. Let it be a lamp in their night. Let it be my whisper reaching them through your obedience, saying, "I see you, I know where you are, and I am calling you back to peace." My beloved child, I am making you a living shelter, a place where harshness does not have the final word, a place where panic is not multiplied, a place where prayer rises quietly, a place where peace is guarded and then given. Remain in me, and you will carry what others cannot manufacture. Stay near my heart, and your life will become a sign that peace is still possible, even in a weary world, even in a tense home, even before tomorrow arrives. Now, my beloved child, before tomorrow arrives, pray with me and place everything into my hands. Place your mind into my hands. Place your heart into my hands. Place your home into my hands. Place your sleep, your memories, your unfinished conversations, your hidden concerns, your devices, your messages, your calendar, your decisions, your family, your body, your emotions, and every hour of tomorrow into my hands. Do not hold back the small things because you think they are too ordinary for me. Do not hide the heavy things because you think you should have already conquered them. Bring it all. This is the hour where doors are closed, burdens are surrendered, and tomorrow is covered before it ever touches your eyes. Father, I come before you as your child. I do not come pretending to be stronger than I am. I do not come hiding the weariness I have carried. I do not come with polished words, while my soul is quietly asking for help. I come honestly. I surrender my mind to you tonight. I surrender every thought that has been circling without peace, every fear that has repeated itself in the dark, every memory that has tried to rise again, every anxious picture of tomorrow that did not come from your spirit. I place my thoughts beneath your authority. Let every voice that is not yours grow silent. Let every tormenting imagination lose its grip. Let every lie that has been whispering in hidden places be exposed by your light. Father, I surrender my heart to you. I give you the places that have grown tender from disappointment. I give you the places that have grown guarded because of pain. I give you the places where bitterness tried to take root, where resentment tried to build a small home, where comparison tried to poison gratitude, where fear tried to dress itself as wisdom, where spiritual dryness tried to convince me that distance from you was normal. I do not want to feed what you are trying to starve. I do not want to protect what you are asking me to release. Search me gently, Lord. Cleanse me deeply. Close every small crack the enemy has used to drain my peace. I pray over my home tonight. Let this home belong to you. Let every room be covered by your presence. Let every doorway be guarded by your mercy. Let every conversation that left behind tension be washed in your peace. Let every device, every screen, every message, every image, every sound, every habit that has entered this house be brought under your light. If there has been anything permitted here that has weakened prayer, stirred anxiety, fed lust, stirred anger, multiplied comparison, or open the door to heaviness. I surrender it now. I ask you to cleanse the atmosphere of this home. Let fear not rest here. Let confusion not rule here. Let bitterness not speak here. Let the peace of Christ be welcome here. Father, I pray against every hidden leak of peace. I pray against anxiety that enters quietly and grows loud in the night. I pray against comparison that makes your child feel behind, forgotten, or less loved. I pray against bitterness that disguises itself as protection. I pray against resentment that keeps replaying old wounds. I pray against confusion that makes simple obedience feel impossible. I pray against spiritual dryness that makes prayer feel distant and worship feel heavy. I pray against every small crack the enemy has used, every little habit excused, every door left not quite closed, every thought entertained too long, every conversation that stirred darkness instead of healing. In the name of Jesus, let those doors close now. Restore holy rest, Lord, not just sleep for the body, but rest for the soul. Let the breathing become steady again. Let the heart stop bracing for disaster. Let the mind stop running ahead into battles you have not assigned for tonight. Renew spiritual breath. Pour oil into the lamp. Strengthen the one who has been burning low. Touch the listener who cannot explain why they have felt so heavy. Touch the one who has been smiling in public and weeping in silence. Touch the one who has served faithfully while feeling empty inside. Touch the mother, the father, the son, the daughter, the friend, the worker, the intercessor, the leader, the quiet servant who has carried more than they had words to describe. I pray for families tonight. Cover marriages with patience. Cover children with protection. Cover parents with wisdom. Cover lonely hearts with the nearness of your presence. Cover households where tension has been thick, where words have been sharp, where silence has carried pain, where people live under one roof but feel far from one another. Let peace enter gently. Let forgiveness begin where pride has stood guard. Let humility soften what anger hardened. Let your spirit move through homes in ways no human effort could produce. And for the one listening alone, the one who feels unseen, the one who wonders if anyone knows how tired they are, let them feel your hand near them now. Remind them, Father, they are not abandoned. They are not forgotten. They are yours. Place a guard over their thoughts before the new day begins. Awaken discernment in them. Let them recognize what steals peace before they agree with it. Let them sense when a conversation is pulling them away from you. Let them notice when a thought is not truth, but accusation. Let them pause before they react. Let them pray before they panic. Let them surrender before they spiral. Let tomorrow find them covered, not careless, steady, not striving, awake, not afraid. Teach them to walk through the coming day with a guarded mind, a gentle mouth, clean hands, and a heart that keeps returning to you. And now, my child, receive this covering. Tomorrow will not be ruled by today's fear. Tomorrow will not inherit tonight's anxiety. Tomorrow will not be shaped by old heaviness, hidden dread, bitter memories, restless thoughts, or the enemy's quiet accusations. Tomorrow belongs to the Lord. Your mind is covered. Your heart is covered. Your home is covered. Your sleep is covered. Your family is covered. Your peace is covered by God. I close the door to hidden heaviness, and I place tomorrow beneath my hand. Rest now in my care. Rise tomorrow under my mercy. In Jesus' name, Amen. And if this prayer has touched the place in you that words could barely reach, do not leave this moment as though you walked through it alone. Bring your prayer request into the light. Leave it in the comments, my child, not as a performance, not as noise, but as a humble opening of the heart. Let the community stand with you for restored peace, for guarded homes, for renewed strength, for minds that become quiet again, for families covered by mercy, for doors closed to fear, and for hearts that return fully to prayer. There is power when my children agree. There is comfort when one weary soul realizes another is praying beside them. You do not have to carry your hidden battle in silence. And if you mean this from the heart, write the declaration again. My peace belongs to God before tomorrow arrives. Let those words stand as your agreement. Let them become a line drawn in the Spirit. Let them become a witness that fear will not own your night, anxiety will not shape your morning, and heaviness will not pass itself into tomorrow as though it has authority over you. Say it with sincerity. Write it with faith. My peace belongs to God before tomorrow arrives, not to confusion, not to panic, not to old wounds, not to the enemy's whisper. Your peace belongs to me. And beloved, stay close to the words that call your heart back to me. Subscribe, not as a small habit only, but as a continued act of choosing to remain near messages that awaken prayer, surrender, discernment, and spiritual vigilance in you. Let your heart be reminded again and again that you are covered, that small doors can be closed, that peace can be guarded, that rest can return, and that I am still speaking to my children in the quiet places where they almost gave up. And before you go, think of one person, one soul who may be smiling outwardly, but quietly losing peace inside. One friend, one family member, one weary heart who keeps saying they are fine while something in them is running dry. Share this message with them gently. Let it be a cup of water in their night. Let it be a hand on their shoulder. Let it be my whisper reaching them through your obedience, saying, I see you. I have not forgotten you. Come back to peace. Now rest under my covering. Let the night be still. Let the door be closed. Let your heart be quiet. My child, you are not alone. Rest tonight. I am already standing in your tomorrow.